It's a hard job to imagine, flying to fight fires in a helicopter. But for the Kernville Helitack crew, that's just business as usual. In Kernville, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter.
I was always told as you're growing up, if you want to stay here, you need to become in the medical field, become a firefighter, become a teacher. Like those are the good paying jobs. And I remember hearing that, I'm like, oh, I think I want to be a teacher.
Lynn Correa, captain of the Kernville Helitack crew, grew up in the Kern River Valley, and to pay for school, she joined the Forest Service as a seasonal firefighter. At 18, Correa was given a crash course on the intensity of wildland firefighting.
I specifically remember being on a fire that we had in Bodfish. It was called the Deer Fire, and they were losing structures. And it was my first exposure to all this stuff going on, and my eyes were like, oh my goodness, like what did I get myself into?
Facing the inferno, Correa persisted and ended up choosing firefighting as her career.
My friend told me about the California Conservation Corps. They actually had a firefighter training coming up. It was 2 weeks. It was super hard, but it was the most rewarding thing I had ever done, and I was hooked.
Alexandria Bender is a firefighter for the U.S. Forest Service, where she started as an apprentice.
When I got the apprenticeship, I was able to work on the helicopter module.
The module, which is a term used to define teams within the Forest Service, was Kernville Helitack, an elite and specialized crew of firefighters trained to perform initial attacks. They start their day with physical training.
You'll be pushed to the limits.
The engines, they have their engine. The hotshot crews, they have their buggies. We have a helicopter. That's what takes us to the fire.
The helicopter arrives in May, the beginning of the fire season.
Yeah, we're ready.
The crew has to be ready at all times. 3 beeps on the radio signify a potential dispatch.
Every time we get the 3 beeps, I get butterflies in my stomach still to this day.
Speed is key.
When we get the call, we have to be out to the helicopter in under 5 minutes.
I don't really get nervous anymore. I have a job to do.
We are usually the first ones on scene because we're in the aircraft and we can get there quicker. We land, we very quickly take everything off the helicopter.
We put a bucket on the helicopter.
The bucket is a 210-gallon capacity apparatus set up by the firefighters and used to drop water on the fire.
When we open up doors and start deploying our gear and the bucket, it's about 2 minutes.
The crew is close-knit and moves as a unit.
They become your family, they become your team.
And you rely on everyone and they rely on you. I just like it. I think it's fun.
Normally, the firefighters would be cutting line when the helicopter was dropping water, but during this initial attack drill, they watched as the pilot used the bucket. Kernville Helitack can be traced back to the 1970s, and pictures of various crews over the years adorn the halls. These past few years, this team has looked different.
Half my module is women, which is kind of out of the norm.
5 of 11 members of Helitack this year are women. The U.S. Forest Service currently employs roughly 10,000 firefighters nationwide, and only 13% of them are women.
Definitely had a couple of mixed experiences, like being a woman in a male-dominated field. You have to be confident in yourself, because if you're not confident in yourself, other people can see it and know that this is my place, this is where I'm at.
1 in 3 male firefighters are estimated to be in a supervisor position. For women, that number is just 1 in 8.
I had really good mentorship and really good leadership throughout my career of people that believed in me, pushed me, and challenged me in becoming a better version of myself.
Now a captain on an elite team, Correa hopes to help and inspire others like her mentors did for her, speaking with her community about her job.
They don't really know what we do, and they go, oh, that just looks too intense, or that looks too hard. But then they see people like me, and they're like, you do fire? And I'm like, yeah, I do fire. I fight fire. I work on the helicopter.
Don't think that it's unattainable. Don't think that it's something that's out of your reach. This job, it is challenging, but it's super rewarding.
Bender remembering advice she received from a female firefighter during her first season.
She said what separates a good from a great firefighter is character and competency.
Correa and Bender have plenty of both. They've been able to not only succeed, but excel as firefighters.
At the end of the day, like you feel like you accomplished something.
I do feel like I have a sense of purpose. While I'm helping people, I can help nature too at the same time.
They serve as examples of the literal and figurative heights female firefighters can achieve in the Forest Service.
People usually say firemen. They don't say firefighter. And so I think changing the vernacular and having the representation out there like myself, and letting young girls know that it's not a fireman, it's a firefighter.
Corey O'Leary, 23 ABC News.